was meant to win. I am down on willing, so I will find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flame. I switch my style up, watch the money pile up. I'ma get rich or die trying.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cof-Fee edition of Clydesdale Media Podcast, where we're featuring the athletes of the 2024 CrossFit Games Semifinals. And I'm so pumped to have my dear friend, Fee Saghafi, on the show. Fee, how you doing?
Good morning. Just like you said, coffee talk. We're ready. We're ready. It's the thing that's going to kick it off right. Except mine says, this is one of my favorite mugs. It says tequila.
I hope you're not adding that to the coffee before training.
No, definitely not. But I will probably be having some, hopefully some celebratory tequila after semifinals is done very well and dusted. But we're here enjoying coffee first.
So you like your tequila straight up or mixed with something?
I love, honestly, if it's very good tequila, I'll just enjoy it like straight and actually enjoy, like truly like sip on it. You don't just kind of like very good quality tequila. My abuelo always had la hora de la tequila time around 4 o'clock, and he would just sit on his chair and just like slowly sip, like truly enjoying. So I could do that with very good tequila, but then other ones where you're just kind of like hoping it goes down smooth, the salt, the lime, or just like mixed in drinks is always nice. But either way.
So Jake Chapman said that this is coffee talk.
That's clever. Why haven't I thought of that? Yes, Jake. I love that.
Corey Leonard says tequila for breakfast. I've been going about my training all wrong.
There it is. That's okay. Tequila's a probiotic. It's very good for you. Very good for your gut.
Paper Street should do a limited edition.
Yes, like a Paloma coffee.
Edward, I love the way she says tequila.
Gracias. Thank you very much. It's the proper way to say it. So everyone should say it like that. Even like gringos.
Tequila.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There you go, Scott. But I gotta say, I do have it with my, like, I'll sip on my coffee, not tequila, sip on my coffee, and then I have my water, my Relay, my salt water. So I'm like dehydrating. There's a method here.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, especially when you're a week out from semis.
Yeah, I train at noon. So my morning is coffee and water, because I can't go train at noon and be all dehydrated.
Oh yeah, I've done that way too many times where, during breakfast I'm drinking my coffee, I'm taking the morning the way that I need to get ready for training, and then I'll get to the gym and sometimes I'll be like, oh my god, I haven't had a sip of water yet, because I'm just like enjoying my coffee so much, and then I get to the gym, and right now I'm in Jacksonville, so it's like 87 degrees, 90 degrees every day. And you're just like, totally forgot what I actually should be doing in the morning, which is drinking water first and then going into the day. But it's okay.
So you've made the move across the state of Florida from Naples to Jacksonville and way north. Way north.
One down and then completely opposite direction.
So I used to live in Tallahassee. In the armpit.
Yeah.
And then my cousin, who is like a brother to me, he was stationed in the Navy in Jacksonville. So I made that I-10 drive all the time.
I didn't realize how big Jacksonville was. First of all, just like the size of Jacksonville.
And nobody knows how to drive.
Oh, no one. Oh my gosh, everyone's so mean. Everyone's so awful. I've seen many accidents, just driving by, and you could tell it was just a dumb accident and very silly, but everyone drives in a way that's almost an accident. You're driving and you're like, oh my god, that could have been something insane. And I've driven by many awful accidents, and there was one that the gym, from my apartment to the gym, it should take no more than 12 minutes to get there. If it's just like one smooth exit off the highway. And it took me 40 minutes because by the time I drove off, I merged onto this exit. I'm only one exit off to get to the gym. It was just backed up traffic, and it was a car that was driving, wasn't looking where they were driving. They probably slammed on their brakes, and there was a truck in front of them. This car just slammed just underneath this pickup truck. This pickup truck flew up, and it was almost at this 45-degree angle, and it just backed. And I had just gotten to this accident. Like, ambulance hadn't even gotten there.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, every time I was there was some kind of accident, some kind of backup.
Yep.
Our favorite thing to do is to go to St. Augustine.
I haven't gone yet, and that's like one of my bucket lists. It's on the to-do places here in Jacksonville or around, but we're going to do that after.
For someone with Latin background, like, I cannot believe you have not been to St. Augustine.
No, I know.
Spanish settlement. And
I didn't know that. No, there's so much history that I need to learn from there. I've just heard how beautiful it is and how it's so close. Like, it's a 40-minute drive from here. And I just haven't made it. It's one of those things where when I go, I want to spend the entire day there. And where training has been since, we moved here in January. And by the time we moved, everyone immediately is like, you got to go here. You got to go to St. Augustine. You got to try these restaurants. You got to do this and that. And you're just like, I just got here and all I need to focus on is just training. Because by that time it was like Wodapalooza, and then a month later it's the Open, and then a month later it's quarterfinals, and you're just like, I don't even have an entire. The days that we do get to ourselves, you just kind of want to chill. So after semifinals, I'm hoping to just like take a week off and explore and do all the fun stuff.
So are you living in Jacksonville full time or just there for training?
Yeah, I'm here full time. Since I went full time in the sport with training and just living here in Florida since last year. So I moved to Naples last November? Last November. Yes. Last November. No, 2 Novembers ago. Gosh, I can't even keep track. But yeah, and then was there with my coach in the whole training camp. That's when Matt Torres had 5 of us go to the games that year. That was that year that I decided to move and made it happen. And then literally a year later, we didn't see this coming, right? Like, this was something that, was in the works, like maybe well over half of that year. And then all of a sudden an opportunity came up, and Matt was like, hey, this is my vision. This is my plan for the camp and the business. And, what do you guys think? And we pretty much were just like, okay, wherever you go, we go. And sure enough, the decision to Jacksonville happened, and we're just like, okay, we're doing it. Up to Jacksonville. Yeah,
and Jacksonville's it was like an old OG hotbed for CrossFit. Like, there's a lot of masters athletes in Jacksonville.
Who are the OGs out of this area?
So she goes by Jen Smash on Instagram. Jen Dieter. Okay. You had to put me on the spot, didn't you?
I know. I was waiting for you to just be like 1, 2. I'm sure there's plenty more.
There actually really are a ton.
There are a lot of CrossFit affiliates in Jacksonville, though. I feel like within like a couple mile radius, like there's another one. There's 2. I think there's one downtown in Jacks Beach or around Jacks Beach called Total Control that we've been to. Great community there, and that affiliate has another location, like 2 separate locations within literally the same city, the same zip code, I feel like. And then where we're at CrossFit Tailwinds, but maybe 2, 3, 4 miles down the road, there's another affiliate. So they're pretty they're right next to each other.
I think Sean Woodland actually came from there as well. He was a sportscaster on the local TV station, got into CrossFit, and that's how he.
Wow. Well, not surprising with sports being so big here. It's a beautiful, it's an area where a ton of people come, just in general, I think, to vacation, to watch the Jags. They got the NFL team here. And it's a I think there's a running joke that someone told me that it takes I think it was about Jacksonville, that you could like drive an hour and still be in Jacksonville. The whole city.
I
Jacksonville.
can see that.
Yeah.
Well, what's
But
cool?
we've been loving it.
We can move on from Jackson. We haven't even touched anything I had planned, which is the way it always goes with you, Fee.
Yes. Oh, it's okay. It's a good problem sometimes.
But there are some comments. I'm almost afraid to put this in because it's in Spanish, and I got a D in high school Spanish. So here we go.
Pies borracha tequila por decirlo. I think Wasambi Google translated that Fee está borracha, question mark? Maybe, is that a question? Tequila para desayuno. Para el desayuno. He goes, is Fee drunk? And tequila for breakfast. No. But that was a good maybe that was a good statement. That's a good try on the grammar.
Yeah.
No, we are not drunk.
Effort was there.
Effort.
So it's been a long time since you've been on the show. If we're truly friends, like we've let it go too long.
Oh gosh,
right before the game.
Honestly, I really can't. Our last interview was last semis, I think, right?
It was right before the games.
It was right before the games. Okay.
Yeah.
Still, either way, way too long. That was almost a year ago then.
I know. It's unacceptable because we didn't get to talk about this.
Oh gosh, a lot of things. Yes, a ton of things happened. Not just like the games, like after the games.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got married.
I love
You're
that
not
picture.
single anymore.
You got married. You know what? I've been meaning to change my last name. Fee Saghafi legally still is my name, and I'm just like, I want to change my last name. I'm going to. I'm a Ferrara. And I have yet to get to it because then just a lot of, I just didn't get to it. And now I'm just a week out from semis, and I'm like, can I change my last name before semis? So when they call my name, it's Fee Ferrara. And today I will make it a point to start the documentation. So hopefully by next week, at least I could legally say in some way I'm a Ferrara. Because I am. That's my husband, Alex Ferrara. Fee Ferrara.
I'll tell you this. You may be able to do it legally in the United States to do that. But CrossFit, it's like an act of God to change your name in their documentation.
Is it so? Does it annoy them?
Well, I mean, a lot of people have gotten married and tried to change their names, and it's always taken longer than they thought. I know, like Bethany Flores wanted that changed, and like at semis, she was still Shadburn.
Yeah, that's because that's what it's when you acknowledge someone or say an athlete's name, you know them by like their full name, right? And first and last. But I feel like for me, maybe that's I don't know. I hope it's an exception. Because there's no other Fee, so maybe it's just Fee or Fee Ferrara. I don't know.
Although Fee Ferrara sounds freaking awesome.
It sounds fast. Like it sounds like I should be well, it works because I'm in the sport of being fast, right? Firuse Ferrara. It feels like I'm just like zoom.
So
Ferrari.
Fee Ferrari.
Yeah.
More like it because you are so fast.
Yes. My husband, he in college he played football for Mount Union. I don't know if anyone else is out there that knows Mount Union, but Mount Union is a very recognized Division III football program. Oh my God. Yes. Wait, have you told me that before?
Well, I mean, I live here in Ohio.
Everybody but like not everyone knows. I don't know.
They didn't lose for like five years in a row.
That's true. Well, I don't want to assume, but that's awesome that you know that. Then yes. So anyways, so they called him Rari, like his nickname within his teammates, Rari for Ferrari. But yeah, I like it.
Watambi, just don't do the dash last name, please. Saghafi
No.
Or too much. That's
too much. Too much. Yeah, I feel like people would get way too confused, and also that's a lot of name. Like Saghafi, Ferrara. There's like so much. I mean, it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful to keep my culture in there, my last name, but I'm deciding for just personal reasons to change my last name. And
just think of the logistics on the jersey when you get to the games.
Gosh. Oh,
Like
yeah.
fitting it all on there. Like,
I'm actually thinking of everyone that does that job. So I'm just trying to be I'm just trying to be mindful of them, right?
make it easier. See, if you just go one name, Fee,
I know.
simple, done.
That's it. Honestly, it's probably nice for commentators to and MCs to just have to say fee. I remember at my first regionals in 2018, I can't even remember, someone came up to me and someone was like, how do you want us to pronounce your name? Do you have a nickname? I'm like, yes, just say Fee Saghafi. And then like ever since then they were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's easy. They scratched out like the rest of my name, Roozeh. I physically saw them like being like perfect. Scratch, circle, Fee. And that was
Does
it.
your family still call you by your full name?
Oh yeah, yeah. Firuse is like, I've never heard my family call me Fee other than like text. They'll shoot me a quick text, Fee. But other than that, when they're addressing me in person, it's Firuse every time. And I love my name, Firuse. When I was younger, I did it just because I didn't get made fun of, but teachers would butcher it, and it would just sound so ugly. Like when you mispronounce a beautiful, like a name, you're mispronouncing it. Your mispronunciation is probably so bad that you're just like, just don't say it. But,
Yeah. It's thank goodness Scott is very easy, but my last name nobody has ever gotten it right.
you pronounce it.
It's Schweitzer.
Schweitzer. What do people typically say?
Switzer.
Switzer. Yeah, Schweitzer. Is it with just an I or EI or I?
Just an I.
Oh, yeah.
When my ancestors came to the country, it was Schwei. So Schweitzer.
SCH. Yeah.
Yeah. So
See, that
very
makes
German.
sense. Well, it's funny. It's Firuzeh is a Persian, Iranian name. 100% Firuzeh Saghafi. But actually, the typical spelling or a very common spelling is Firuzeh. Firuzeh. And the older that I got, the more I realized I think my parents gave me a phonetic spelling. Like truly like the phonetic spelling of Firuze. Firuze. It's Fee Fi Ru Ze. And it's like the phonetic spelling. Because when people break it down, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
When I see the names that kids have today, I would kill to have a phonetic spelling of anything.
Yes. You got letters and then that don't make sense, but
So was the wedding everything you dreamed it to be?
it was the most magical, beautiful, everything that I wanted to happen happened. Like when it came to the weather, when it came to, how it all came together from the ceremony to the party to our friends coming in a couple days prior to being able to enjoy even days after the wedding. Like it truly felt not just like a wedding day. It felt like it was a wedding week. It was just pure celebration of love and friends that we haven't seen in such a long time. And, families coming together for the first time. Oh, it was beautiful. It was everything I could have ever asked for after the games. And the games definitely didn't finish the way that I was hoping to finish. But it was nice to have that the week after where it's like I have something that's way more valuable to me in my life, which was obviously my wedding day.
Is it important to find that prioritization in life? Like as an athlete, it's really easy to get wrapped up into your identity as an athlete, but you're so much more than that. And now you have a husband and you had this amazing wedding and you have this life you get to build together. Did it help you kind of reset those priorities?
Oh yeah. I think that year was the start of that season, was the start of, for me, it was taking the risk, going from Cleveland to moving all my life to Naples. And my world just revolved around the sport and making it back and doing everything I could and sacrificing, home and bringing my husband like along, this ride. He took a risk on moving from Cleveland to Naples because he works for a firm in Cleveland, and taking that risk and for them to keep him within the firm, like that was like everything. So everything revolved around CrossFit during that time. And then, the year started to unravel and I continued hard in the sport, but then you have your family, and now my family is him, right? My family is what we're, our new chapter. And so it started to not just become about me and the sport. It started to become about us and being a team and working together for each other and pulling each other along. And so you start to live that chapter, and everything starts to be filled with much more purpose and much more intention. And so when things do get hard, you don't just have yourself to rely on, right? Or just the one thing that you love in the moment, which is your sport, which is the thing that puts food on the table for me. But now I have, that fire under me because my purpose revolves around being a better wife, being, a better family member, a sister, now that I'm away from home, I still need to make it a point to keep building on those relationships. And those are the relationships that, continue to support me whether I do CrossFit or not. But I definitely have way more feeling of purpose and drive. And that purpose doesn't come from sport. It comes from the relationships in my life, which is the most meaningful.
That is so well said. So then you're in your sport, and like from 2019, it was this drive to get back to the games, right? And last year that happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get back to the games. Now the goals shift, probably, I'm assuming, to more games related goals.
Yep.
But you've got all this amazing stuff happening around you in life. What are the conversations with Matt now about what are the CrossFit goals, and how does it fit into everything you have going on in life?
Yeah. So the goal of, it's not just getting back to the games. It's, going into semifinals, like at least our semifinals and a lot of these semifinals, right? The field has been cut. The quality of competition is even harder than last year. Every year it's hard, right? But also every year it gets harder. So it's not that just because you made it back, or you've been more consistent throughout the season, or your fitness obviously continues to progress and your holes continue to close, doesn't mean that it's going to be that much easier to make it back to the game. So number one goal is to execute, and that's something that we've been working on a lot this past, like the entire year, is truly closing in on my holes, which mainly is like strength and power. But also when it comes to game time, really honing in on working on our strategy and practicing moments where we have good execution or poor execution, right, in practice. But coming full circle to that question is, the things that we've been working on, Matt and I, is not just getting to the games, but once we get to the games, like truly executing our strengths and managing, the things that we continue to work on. And I mean, my biggest goal is get to the games and get there for the whole weekend. Like everyone works so hard that you're just fighting to be there throughout the weekend. And my last, two games appearances, I've always been cut early. So my next goal, something that's manageable, tangible, and I believe my fitness is there. I just need to execute. And I think my execution at the games, I had poor moments of execution. They weren't moments of my fitness couldn't earn me that weekend. It was just couldn't execute. So that, I think, is what's been holding me back, and what held me back last games.
So I have to share some of these comments. Rebecca Wood, oh my gosh, hi Fee, opened up YouTube and saw you were live.
Oh, Rebecca, she's such a great friend of mine. She's back in Naples. Love you, Rebecca.
Wad Zombie, Fee is the most genuinely nice person I've ever seen.
Thank you, Wad Zombie.
Echoed by Corey. You can feel the positivity coming off of her. And I've told the story on the show before, like,
thank you.
you are such a positive person. I told you, like, you were on the demo team one year. I had imposter syndrome underneath the Coliseum. Do I really belong here? And you came over and gave me a hug, and it was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I do. Like, you just completely set me at ease, because you're just a wonderful person and so genuine. And it's
Thank you,
always good to
Scott.
see you.
Oh, I love seeing you. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize you had imposter syndrome. Well, you should never have imposter syndrome anywhere you go because you're great at what you do and you bring you bring light out of people. So it's always enjoyable to see you. And it was great. It was one of those years where you know what, I'm just like, okay, I'm not in it over there, but I could still be in it from this side. And you kind of enjoy the ride that you're on. You got to.
Yeah, yeah. So my next question to you, and thank you for those compliments.
Yeah.
I do appreciate
Of
them
course.
very much. Is you've been working on strength so long. Does it ever
Mm.
feel tedious? Like,
Yes.
because on the other hand, you do have home runs, right? If you can just
Yeah.
get to them in the weekend, like at the
Yep.
games, some of your best events were just around the corner,
Yep. I
right?
know.
It's
Gosh.
you just need the key to unlock the door to get to that next piece.
Yeah. And I mean it's part of the game now. It's every single athlete in our sport has like their own home runs. And that's, I'm no different. It's just earning that, right? You got to earn your way. And for some people, it's earning it through the conditioning and the aerobic work that, I mean, this entire sport is aerobic. For me, I'm a very aerobic athlete because I, I started CrossFit, like doing like true CrossFit for a very, very long time. And my biggest holes are the strength. So for me to get to the fun part of the weekend, which is now clearly after the second or like the second after the second day, right? It's on Saturday. If you've done the work or you get to have your fun now, right? That's when the CrossFit starts to come out. And yeah, that's strength has been taking me so long to develop because that's just part of developing strength. It definitely doesn't develop as quick as conditioning, or maybe developing like more of the you know skills even. For me, strength is something that takes years and years to build. And that's one thing that when I first talked to Matt, before even having him as my coach, he was pretty much like, this will take a very long time. And we'll get to the end of the year of training and you still won't be where you want to be. Just know that the progress is happening. Even on the days that you're not hitting what in your head you should be hitting or want to be hitting, that doesn't mean you're regressing. It's just part of the process. So I just know that when my execution is there and when my all the pieces come together, my like people could see that the strength has been progressing. And a good example of that was last year at semis. I PR'd my snatch after a couple events already in the weekend, and I hit my 185, something I've never done before. But that was like my ticket to the game. So when things truly come together and and it wasn't like it was never there before, it just came together in that moment. And it could have not come together in that moment either. So does that mean that I'm not getting stronger? Absolutely not. So I've had many moments during competition weekends where when the execution is there, the results aren't there. But when my execution is there, I've proven that things continue to progress. And it's just a long process, but I wouldn't be in this sport as long as I have if I didn't love that process.
So I talked to Saxon, now it seems like forever ago, probably a week ago, and he described the weekend after the workouts came out as fitness first 3 days or first 3 events. Final day is all execution.
Yep. Very well said. Yeah.
Is that how you see the weekend playing out?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, you get the big day one. It's just, where's your conditioning? Where's like, have you been working on your conditioning and your, battery work on that barbell, 10 clean and jerks for every round, and to get back to that run and just be consistent. Have you been working on those elements in your own training? And, then the next couple days you got, what's the second event?
The front
Like
squat.
front squat, toes to bar, just kind of your volume work. your endurance, the squat endurance. That's something that wasn't tested at all in quarterfinals, right? We saw very specific tests in quarterfinals, and the things that you don't see, you could have assumed that they were coming, and that was like squat endurance and, rowing endurance, handstand walking under a long, some long aerobic work. And you get all those. And then on the very last day, you get, the events that are all about execution, because those events can't have anything to do with anything else. Your best execution will show your best fitness. Whether if someone else is holding on to all, 15 ring muscle ups, doesn't at the, the last event, does not mean that that's going to be your best strategy to showcase your best finish towards the end of the weekend. So yeah, I really love that. And it kind of shows the people that come out at the top at the, at the end of semis, who's been truly not just working on, all those elements, but who's also been honing in on strategy and execution work throughout their training, because all of that stuff takes practice. You can't just practice that on game day. So we'll see how things go. But I mean, it's been so cool to watch, Europe go, and now West is about to go, and Torian is about to go. So we're learning. I'm learning a lot. I continue to learn a lot by watching everyone go.
Do you watch full workouts of the others?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've been watching all of them. Actually, I didn't get a chance to watch them all live, but I've been going back. I mean, I have my notebook right on my coffee table right now. My husband and I the other day were like, okay, we're gonna rewatch everything, and we're gonna watch, the best heats do it. But it was really cool to also have moments of like, let's watch some of the individuals that just didn't get it right and learn a little bit from that. Learn obviously from the people that came up on top, and I'm over there. I'm taking notes. We're going event by event. The other night, I could not fall asleep because I think we watched events way too late, and I dream about these events now. But I watch them all, and I learn from the best. And, I have incredible friends in the sport that have already done these events at the last semis, and they're giving me notes. They're giving me takeaways. So I'm taking it all in.
So the other thing about the execution being on Sunday is that's when the pressure is there. So not only is it execution, it's execution under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Which, being a veteran of the sport should give you an advantage in that stage. It's so funny how different people react to it. I talked to Sam Quant. He does not watch full workouts. He said all it does is make him more nervous. So he'll watch elements to see like how people handle things, and then he'll shut it off.
Oh yeah. That's different.
Is it a disadvantage or an advantage going last?
It's a little bit of, it's kind of like a little bit of both. Like, it's an advantage when it comes to just gives you more time to prepare, right? But also everyone gets more time. Everyone that you're competing against gets more time. So it could be an advantage to someone that needs that time, right? It could be a disadvantage to some that you kind of just get burnt out. And it could be a huge disadvantage to go last because you're just grinding through so many different variations that maybe it's almost too long of a period where you're overthinking, you're burnt out doing the events. So by the time you get to your semis, maybe you've hit all your turbo buttons in training. And as much as you want to have them on game day, if you hit them all way too early, you're just not going to have them. And that's kind of the reality of the sport. And that's why, just comes to show that's why a lot of athletes burnt out, throughout the year. In the off season, they burn out. They make that decision to step away. Or by the games time, you see incredible athletes that have a history of incredible performances, and you don't even see them, where they're projected to be, not because they can't, it's because they've burnt themselves out way too early, too many times. So it's kind of a game that you kind of play a little bit of both. And the only way to really know what's appropriate and what's not is just to be mindful and to talk to your coach, and to, like, when you start to feel those sensations of almost like not having fun with them, that's when you need to start to reel it back and maybe just turn the TV off, not watch too many events, or just do something completely different other than the events.
So we're already 35 minutes in. I have not even looked at my notes, and that's every time I talk to you.
Oh my God. I wish workouts went that fast, Scott. Dang. Why can't I want event one to just go this fast. Just
There you
blink
go.
of an eye. Oh my
So
God.
I wasn't sure I was going to make it to Knoxville. I'm still
Yeah.
like, ugh. I have a hotel reservation though, so I'm hoping
Okay.
to get there. And hopefully we'll see you there.
Gosh, I hope I see you there. I feel like there's going to be some good stories coming out of that weekend. So
I do too, and I want to be there to capture it.
yes. If not, I will definitely see you at the games.
Yes. Well, thank you
Good.
so much for taking time out, Fee, as always. And we're not going to let it take a year before you're back on, because
Yes, no, that's on you. You just invite me. Just shoot me a message. I always
we
answer
can
you.
fill an hour without even talking about CrossFit.
We really can. And you know what? I love that because I love talking about other things that aren't revolved around
Like, I
CrossFit.
didn't even get to like you doing quarterfinals live on a YouTube stream.
Oh yeah.
That
We
like
gotta save that for another day
like
if it's still relevant.
that is the coolest thing ever. And did it work for you?
On the Savant, like having Savant offer that opportunity and CrossFit Crash, JR Howell out there like bringing us in, that was already chaos. Like quarterfinals is already chaos to begin with, right? Him taking care of his members and the members there that are also kind of trying to punch their ticket to semis. They were just incredible, just truly taking us on just like we're family of their own. The opportunity was amazing, and I loved it because I want to believe that I'm more of a game time athlete. Like when I'm put in game time situations, I turn my brain off and I shine more there than in training where I'm just overthinking or if I'm by myself doing these events. And when I get to be in an environment where I just kind of turn it on and just go and put myself in that position, I always do what I need to do. And I loved it. So it was a good kind of like game time practice after not being on the floor for a while.
My hope is that you were the catalyst to move that forward, because there's so many of us out there that have the ability to broadcast that.
Mm-hmm.
And but I've talked to a lot of female athletes who like to keep everything so tight to the vest on those weekends.
Yeah.
Where the guys just they want to talk smack and they don't care, right?
Yeah. And I think it's more like of a confidence thing. I think not in a cocky way, but my confidence came from like I had full confidence that the way that I executed quarterfinals, like there actually weren't a lot of moments that I would have completely changed. So I'm like, you know what? That was my best fitness. I would not have done anything. So come and get it and beat it. And if you beat it, gosh, you're really fit too. And if my best fitness doesn't earn me to semis, then at that point there's not much that I could do, right? So it's that confidence of like, I know what I've been doing in training. I'm confident in my execution. Come and get it. And I think that was just like a cool moment to have because I've never done that before. And it worked out.
I truly think it's the way to grow the sport.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
It gives a much more intimate look and to the athlete and what they go through during those weekends and how hard it is and blind leaderboards and all of those things that we as fans don't always get a peek at.
Yeah, and everyone loves the behind the scenes. Everyone loves like the inside look because most people only see the you only see the open announcement. You don't even see the craziness that goes on behind an open announcement, which I would love to see because I've never been on the open announcements. But then and then you just see semis, the amazing performances live, and then you see the amazing games performances live. You don't see the background and the chaos. And everyone loves that because that creates, emotion and story.
And CrossFit keeps removing aspects of even the semifinals that are getting broadcast. And so it's going to be up to us third-party media people to add and supplement that with other aspects of the season to make it watchable and to grow the sport.
Yeah, I really hope that next year, if I have the opportunity to do quarterfinals live again, it's a great yes. Easy yes for me. Great opportunity. I think.
Yeah, I'm going to try to put them together, and we'll see what happens. But I know Savon will do it again as well. Like it was a success for them.
It was great.
Yeah. Well, Fee, again, awesome having you on. We'll
Thank
do
you,
this
Scott.
again. After you punch your ticket to the games, we'll have some conversations. And then thank you to everybody in the chat for being here. You guys always make this awesome. With that, we'll see everybody next
Thank
time
you.
on the Clydesdale Media Podcast. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
And it's not working. Oh, there it goes.